It is a cool and crisp morning in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where the ACC's best have gathered. A long, difficult college wrestling season comes down to this one day inside Carmichael Arena, where ACC champions will be crowned. Lifelong dreams of wrestling for a national championship become a little bit more real. Lots of familiar faces. Mekhi Lewis trying to capture his second national championship for Virginia Tech, while new faces have arrived on the scene all the way from the West Coast. Tyler Ishins is in the house, and Sam Latona getting ready for another run at an ACC title. He is healthy and he is ready to roll. It is a busy day of competition today. First round action coming up in just a little bit. Then we move into the semifinals at 1 o'clock. The consolation semis, the consolation finals, and then it all comes down the championship Sunday night. The ACC champions will be crowned on the ACC network. Coming into the season, a lot of people thought it would be a two-team battle with NC State, Virginia Tech. In fact, it came down to the final Friday night. The Wolfpack prevailing inside Reynolds Coliseum, but as we have learned from this tournament in the past, you throw out the record books. It's a new day, a new season of competition. Hi everybody, Sean Kinney alongside national champion, three-time All-American Anthony Robles. So great to have you with us, and welcome to the ACC. Excited to work with you today. Anthony, you look at this conference and it is certainly right there near the top when you look at the college wrestling landscape. A big reason, three athletes that we're going to be watching today.
Yeah, three athletes that are the face of ACC and also NCAA wrestling. We got Cole Matthews, we got Mekhi Lewis, and Trent Hidley. These guys, they're looking to repeat this year, but with that expectation comes a lot of pressure. So it's all about how do they manage that pressure today? Because when you break it down, it's all about the positions, things that they do every single day in the wrestling room. Execute your positions, dominate your strategy. They're going to come out on top if they can do that.
So one final run for these three athletes. Cole Matthews, it was appropriate. He picked up career win number 100 in his house back in the Steel City on the final night of the regular season. Mekhi Lewis on the hunt for his second national championship, while Trent Hidley has been so close. The four-time All-American, one final chance to bring a championship back to Raleigh. Anthony, couple of key weights to keep an eye on. 141, just loaded.
Yeah, I'm excited about this weight class. Cole Matthews is a returning ACC champion, but he's going to have his hands full today. We have four wrestlers in this weight class that are ranked top 13 nationally or above. So in order for Matthews to be able to go out there and compete today and get to the top of the podium, he's going to have to battle.
We mentioned NC State, Virginia Tech. They'll probably go toe-to-toe at 149, two of the best in the land.
Yeah, you said it there, Sean. These guys right here, Caleb Henson, Jackson Arrington, both these guys ranked top 5. Henson has come out on top of them the past few battles, so let's see if Jackson has come up with that code to crack and get the win.
Welcome back inside historic Carmichael Arena, your home for the 2024 ACC Wrestling Championships. Alongside Nick Klaus, I'm Dean Linke, headed to the 174 bracket here on mat 2, and this is another matchup that Nick Klaus featured in the open as one to watch, as it'll be the 4-seed Faison from NC State, and then Augustine, the 5-seed from Pitt.
Throw the seeds out the window for this one. Luca Augustine, the 5-seed, Alex Faison, the 4-seed. Well, last year, Faison came in second behind Mekhi Lewis at ACC's, lost in double OT to Lewis, which is extremely impressive. And then Augustine, third at ACC's in the 2023 NCAA qualifier. So two extremely good wrestlers, potentially the best match we've seen today. After that, Spencer Moore, Camacho opening in double overtime.
Faison 110-6 on January 26th over Augustine. The winner will face Mekhi Lewis.
So Faison could have a rematch, this time not in the finals, but in the semis, which that's the luck of the draw in the bracket. That's why you want a good seed coming out of ACCs.
174 is so strong in the ACCs with 4 automatic qualifiers at 174.
And this is, we're really starting to get into the strength of the ACC. These higher weight classes are where ACC has 4 automatic qualifiers. Like you said, at 125, that's 2, kind of 2 and 3 scattered, but these higher weight classes are very strong.
Faison, one of the team captains for Pat Papadalizio. What a job he's done as the top man at NC State.
How much he's grown the sport too, the fan base he's made. He talks all about the tailgating they do before games or before matches there. I mean, he's the 2018 Dan Gable. He was co-NCAA Coach of the Year. 5 ACC titles in a row, 6 total. 3 national champs in the last 10 years. He's built this program up so much.
Yeah, if NC State wins the team title today, that'll be 21, and Pat Papadalizio will have 7. So we have 33% of the ACC titles. The former Oklahoma State star, like Glenn Lanham, and like the former coach at North Carolina, coming from Oklahoma State. And I get the feeling, though, like, even if the Oklahoma State job opened up, I may be wrong on this, but Pops really likes NC State, and he kind of laughs about the fact when he goes out now, there's such a big following for wrestling at NC State. People know who he is.
Yeah, like I said, he's really built that program up. I mean, he's made it somewhere to be in wrestling. Oklahoma State, obviously some place that has been huge in wrestling, has produced so many great NCAA champions and Olympians. And now he's brought it to the East Coast and made a great Southern school in the ACC, and they've just been dominant over the last 10 years.
Kind of an abbreviated shot that time from Augustine. Again, the winner will face Makai Lewis, former national champion. Over on mat 1, 165, Hamilton from Virginia with a 9-point lead over Estrada from North Carolina. As double screen here.
Yeah, Hamilton really in control right now of that one. Isaiah Estrada trying to make something happen. Didn't compete last year. Was unattached.
Worth noting at 165, Duke moved Conso up from 165 to 174, so only 5 wrestlers at 165 as part of the 2024 edition of the ACC Wrestling Championships. Still no score here, Nick.
Yeah, Faison and Augustine doing really well, matching each other up, not allowing anyone either side to get to what they're going for. Riding time's just at 23 seconds and 0-0, so there really isn't a way this one's leaning right now. Caution there for Faison. Winning just a hair early.
See a pretty big lead there at 165 for Hamilton over Estrada. We are in the 3rd period, by the way, at 165.
Red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4.
Time for Estrada on mat 1 to kick it into gear. Under 45 seconds now. Start attacking like a bat out of hell. Hamilton, good job there to use that force against him.
Augustine down, comes in with a 13-4 season record, 40-20 overall. Did win his last 2 coming in, knocking out Michael Wilson from Rider and Justin McCoy from Virginia.
Good job there by Augustine. Faison had him with that tight waist, just had to drop him to the ground, but every time Augustine was able to keep his balance, know where he was in the air, stay standing. That was a really vulnerable opportunity for Augustine. Could have easily ended up with 3 points for Faison.
Still no score with 1 minute remaining in the second here. 174, the 4 seed Faison, NC State, 5th seed Augustine, Pitt. Here we go.
Great job by Augustine. He sat out of it, had to break that grip of Faison off the waist. Does it, uses the head for leverage, quick turn, back even to the neutral position.
It's Augustine with a 1-0 lead. These two met back on January 25th, and it was a tight one as Augustine fell just by 2. There's another reason why you put this one as one to watch.
Yeah, they had a close match earlier this year. Both of these guys with a couple losses in ACC play. Kai Lewis, the only wrestler without a loss in that 174 weight class.
There's a former NCAA champion, the top man at Pitt.
Yeah, Keith Gavin returned to his alma mater back in 2017. It's the last national champ that Pitt had. Then he got Nino last year to break that 15-year drought. National title winners.
They love him at Pitt, Coach Gavin. Great wrestler, even a better person.
Through.
Yeah, you nailed it, Nick.
Came back to his alma mater for a reason. He wanted to bring them back to what they were doing the days he was there, and he's done a really good job to make them a really good program, nationally ranked.
Well, it makes sense to have those kind of aspirations when you consider the level of wrestling in the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, the recruiting he can do in the state of Pennsylvania. If you're new to wrestling, Pennsylvania might be the hardest state to win a state championship in. Obviously, there's others involved in that as well, New Jersey, California. But if you won a state title, you're a state runner-up, you're state top 3 in the state of Pennsylvania. Odds are you're probably wrestling D1 somewhere right now.
That's pretty legit. Nearby, Ohio has also sent quite a few quality wrestlers. But I like what you said earlier. A lot of those wrestlers are now looking beyond just the Big Ten and the Big 12. They're looking at the ACC.
It's become a lot more diversified in terms of conferences. Like you said, it's not the Pac-12, it's not the Big 12 as much. The Big Ten will always kind of have that overarching control over the sport, but ACC now with NC State and Virginia Tech is a great option. And one thing I love about wrestling is how you can go anywhere, and if you're good enough, you can win a national title. It's all you. It doesn't need to be the program, but obviously it helps.
Nick Klaas is 2 for 2 out of 3 as far as matches to watch, as we've got another one perhaps headed to overtime. Well done, Nick, as we're tied here at 1s, and I think that's where we're headed with 3 seconds remaining.
Hey, they're making me look good right now. 1-1 going into overtime. They've been just very even. 2 very good wrestlers, very good at defending each other. And you look at 1-1 and you think, has anyone been doing anything? And they're trying, but everything's been well defended. They're good at keeping their distance while also trying to initiate. You haven't seen too many stall warnings. So it's not anyone just trying to stay in it.
Remind everybody, Nick, the story here in overtime. What happens if you score first?
Scoring first, you get the win. There's a takedown here. It's sudden victory. If we get to double overtime, then it turns into the 30 seconds of one. Augustine or Faison would go down first, be on bottom, and then they would switch. Both have an opportunity there. Here in this 2-minute period, whoever gets the win, whoever gets a takedown or a point gets the win.
It's a pretty good example of what happens in these situations. You want to take a shot, you want to be the aggressor, you just don't want to make a mistake.
If you've been with us since 125, you saw that exact thing with Spencer Moore. You don't want to be too aggressive because you don't want to make a mistake that puts you on your back and loses the match. And Spencer Moore had a mistake that put him on his back, and it wasn't double overtime. And that's what they don't want to do here. They want to be aggressive, go for their shots, you know, work towards the angle they want, but also not slip and allow the other wrestler to capitalize.
Faison trying to keep the head down of Augustine. Faison from Whispering Pines, North Carolina.
And that's a great shot from Augustine and great defense from Faison. He just uses the heavy hips, gets down quick, but keeps moving away. Right back to neutral, 15 seconds left.
So to further salute my main man, Nick Klaas, not only did 2 of the 3 matches he picked go to overtime, they went to double overtime, and here we go.
Yeah, when I picked these, I don't think I expected this. I knew they'd be close, but these guys really evenly matched. Like I said, they're both NCAA qualifiers, both very good wrestlers. And whoever loses this one has to wrestle all the way back. Luckily, 4 automatic qualifiers for this weight class, so it is a better chance than those 2 AQ weight classes, but still, that's a tough thing to have to do. Especially coming off a loss. That wrestling is so mental. Here's that 30-second I talked about. Faison's bottom first.
One thing you want to try to do is, oh,
huge move.
The Wolfpack fans love it. Decent response to try to get away, but then Faison hangs on to that left leg.
A huge 2-point reversal there by Faison. Puts him up 3-2. They'll go back to the middle. And they'll switch this time for this 30-second period. And it's just a great job there. Faison knows exactly where he is. Augustine gets a little lost. Just the turn. Faces him upright. Puts him right back down. And it says 3-2 right there, but it looks like we are getting some score correction. It's 4-1 Faison over Augustine right now. And that makes sense. I was confused why Augustine got a second point. There was no escape that he got. Faison had that reversal.
Well, and it's going to force Augustine to start up to try to get that 3-point takedown. The issue is 30 seconds is not a ton of time. And Faison so strong, pretty good, pretty elusive defensively. So he's going to force Augustine to the point where Augustine may even run into giving up some points. At this point, it doesn't matter. They're in the second overtime. He's got to go for it here.
Yeah, it's all or nothing right now. I mean, there's no point to try and wrestle safe in any way. You want to move on to the semifinals. Right now, it's go time. And Faison's in the driver's seat. You see there, Augustine, quick shot. Change of levels, up, down, trying to do anything to shake Faison. Hard hand fighting.
Augustine knows there's 13 seconds left. He's got to go, and he's got to go now. 10 seconds left. Faison, he got a warning, Faison did, but he's got a 3-point lead. So yeah, did they give the point? Yeah.
And coaches will tell you, who cares that you have a warning right now? I mean, I've heard Coach Cole say it for UNC. It's like sometimes you just got to take it because you're trying to win this match, and you got to do what you can. And there it is, Faison getting the win.
And Faison pumping up the crowd. He's got a date in the next round with Mekhi Lewis, a former national champion.
Yeah, if you're within 2 hours of NC State, and in this example, you're within 30 minutes, there's going to be a huge crowd of Wolfpack fans for wrestling.
All right, let's take a look at the bracket for 184, where TJ Stewart out of Virginia Tech, your 1 seed, and Reese Heller, your 2 seed.
184. This is wide open. You see the youngster TJ Stewart. His strong close to the regular season earns him the top seed. Reese Heller, the master scrambler, seeded 2nd. Fishback of North Carolina, 3rd. We have Ethan Weatherspoon and Gavin Kane. Kane, a very dangerous 4 seed for the Tar Heels. Fishback, Connor Becker of Duke.
184-pound matches underway on both mats.
Back, the redshirt freshman from Aurora, Ohio. He's been pushed this year. The NC State schedule very difficult. He's wrestled 11 ranked opponents this year. He's come out on top of 6 of those. 18-6 this year. He's been able to score bonus points as well. 8 of them, 8 bonus point wins this season.
Taking on Ethan Weatherspoon of Virginia, the 5 seed.
We talked about the wins and putting together a schedule where a freshman like Fishback gets challenged. He had a really nice late season win over Chris Foca, who was ranked 10th at the time of Cornell, 6-4. So this is a young man from Aurora, Ohio, who is certainly a guy who can win an ACC championship and also in a couple of weeks score team points and push deep into the Nationals.
And wins like that are confidence boosters. They can really help you get to that next level, right? You feel like the hard work is finally starting to pay off. You're finally starting to turn that corner, and you get that rhythm going to where, practice every day, it's enjoyable. I think, okay, I'm getting there. I'm reaching my goal. I'm getting closer and closer to it. Right now, I like how Fishback is pressing the action here in this match. He's working his ties right there. Nice little, throws the head by for a takedown. He's being aggressive. He's attacking with intention. Hard collar ties. Clearing the arms, looking for his attacks, looking for those openings, keeping the pressure on his opponent. He looks like he's in good rhythm right now.
Take a look at the list of athletes who have defeated him this year. Lenny Pinto, Nebraska. Jaden Bollock, Michigan. Parker Kekais in UNI, who's ranked #1 in the country. Dustin Plott. Here in the ACC, Reese Heller was able to get him in their duel. Fishback, 3-0 lead.
One of the things I really enjoyed about listening to Coach Pop talk about his team, he said, these guys are very analytical and they're very competitive. Well, yes, we have a tough schedule this year, but whether they win or they lose, they learn from it. They go back to the resting room, they build on it. If it's a loss, they put those things on a piece of paper that, okay, this is what I need to work on. They don't allow it to break their mental confidence, their focus. They say, okay, let's learn from this, let's get better. Let's keep improving. And Fishback is one of those guys, you can see it right there, he's a product of it. Every single week he's getting better. That schedule has made him a dominant wrestler so far in this match.
Fishback redshirted last year, and like so many of these athletes coming through now, when you factor in they're wrestling a ton of matches in high school, they're traveling during the off-season of the high school calendar, and then they get introduced, whether it's the world of freestyle or Greco. A lot of these wrestlers pursuing freestyle. They just have so much experience by the time they hit 17 or 18 years of age and step foot on the campus for the first time.
Fishback working hand control right there. Getting his legs away. Good counter wrestling. You see right there going for a cross wrist roll, cinching up that wrist. Elevating that far leg, leaning into that tilt. Building up on your lead.
Becker trying to get something started for Duke. The senior, he flipped spots with Wimmer this season. Unfortunately, Wimmer unable to go today because of a late season injury. So Becker wrestling up a weight after wrestling 8 dual matches at 174 a year ago. Hunter Becker, one of those guys, Clint Lanham told me, that spent a ton of time in the weight room this summer. Had a really good year of lifting. Trying to get over 200 pounds to begin the descent this year. He was naturally bigger than his teammate Wimmer, so that's why they chose to move Becker up to 84 and Wimmer down to 174. 4th year on campus, he jumped right in his true freshman year, wrestled as the Blue Devil starter in 21. Both of these wrestlers hailing from the great state of Ohio, where Becker is a star football player. Won a state championship his junior year wrestling for Northmore High School and head coach Scott Carr. A couple of Ohio State champions squaring off in Chapel Hill in this opening round.
Becker's got to do a little bit better job getting to that offense on his feet. Fishback was just awarded with the stock call point there. Fishback is the one that's pressing the action. He's pushing forward, looking for his attacks. Becker's kind of more on defense, just allowing Fishback to dictate the pace of the match and the positioning. You see right there, just a little bit of a half shot, but that's not going to cut it. Right? You got to find those angles. Fishback, he's got some big, heavy hips. He's fast. You've got to make sure you're moving your opponent. Move him, create that angle that you want so you can get in deep on that leg. That's going to increase the percentage of you finishing your attack. If you're shooting straight on, it's going to be a long day, and it's going to be very difficult to finish those takedown attempts.
You know, you bring up a good point. You mentioned the hips of Fishback. That's what stands out when you watch him. He is so tough to score on those hips, and you get in. You better come with a full shot. You're not going to get in with those half-type motions that we saw from Becker a little bit ago. That is a big lower body for an 84-pounder when you look at Dylan Fishback.
Yeah, my shoulders hurt just looking at those hips, trying to imagine shooting in. You have to create that angle. See right there, Fishback, nice job there, just clearing that wrist, little wrist snap, pressuring on that head. You see the angles that Fishback's creating, right? He's driving through, but he's creating angles, level changing, pressuring forward. Right there, catching Becker off bounce, finding that angle, pressuring through.
Trouble so far for Dylan Fishback, up 11-0. Keep in mind, you get advancement points when you start to look at the team race. And what could be panning out? Will it be drama tonight with NC State, Virginia Tech? Will Pitt, UNC make some noise? Still early in the day to tell, but if you get bonus points, you're talking additional points, which can matter. And we've seen races throughout the years in the ACC decided by less than 10 points. So every point, every bonus opportunity matters in these early rounds.
Fishback's working for those bonus points right now. Went for a cross wrist roll again. The problem was that wrist was a little bit too high. It was up in the armpit. You got to get that wrist down to the waist in order for you to get that angle that you want and the leverage that you need to get your opponent's shoulders across and hips over. So Fishback looking for those bonus points now. He's got to clean up the technique just a little bit. Get that wrist a little bit lower so you get the leverage you want.
Fishback's going to have to get one more turn. Pat Popolizio, finalist for the National Coach of the Year, 5 in the past 6 years, looking to guide NC State to their 6th consecutive ACC championship. Has there been anybody more consistent across the country? I mean, obviously you have Cale Sanderson and what he's been able to do at Penn State, and the great names of the sport, but very quietly under the radar here in the Southeast, Popolizio has done it.
Popolizio has done an excellent job, and just watching those matches on TV, seeing the fan support, and they really got that place rocking. The team's bought in, and you can see it on the mat, right? These Wolfpack wrestlers, they go out there, they're looking to attack, they're looking to score points and be aggressive, get the bonus points for the team. Perfect demonstration right now with Fishback.
He gets the takedown he needed to get this up to a tech full, which means he just needs to ride out the final few moments here. He'll get his riding time point, and it's a tech fall win, 1.5 points for NC State as far as bonus points go, and Dylan Fishback delivers. Match clearly in hand. It's about chasing those bonus point opportunities.
The way that Fishback did it on his feet and on the mat with his tilts, dominating performance there.
And then Alex Faison, yeah. Wolfpack Nation always ready to make some noise. Faison with the tiebreaker win. Just getting started. 1 o'clock Eastern. Come back. Semifinals next.